Hello, I'm James Izimoha. Welcome to Africa News. Let's see your headlines. 6 dead and many more trapped as gold mine collapses in northern Sudan. Tunisia welcomes Greta Thunberg and other activists en route to Gaza. African leaders meet in Ethiopia for climate talks ahead of COP30 in Brazil. African leaders are convening in Ethiopia to chart a new climate-focused development path. They aim to attract green investments and prepare a unified voice ahead of global climate talks in Brazil.
African leaders gathered for the continent's second climate summit in Ethiopia, seeking to design a sustainable economic model amid landslides, floods and droughts this year. Africa receives just 1% of global climate funding, despite being highly vulnerable to climate change and contributing little to global emissions. Leaders hope to attract investment in renewable energy, carbon capture and critical minerals while preparing a unified stance for COP30 in Brazil.
We're not here to negotiate our survival. We're here to design the world's next climate economy. If we make the right choices now, Africa can be the first continent to industrialize without destroying its ecosystems.
The vulnerability of our member countries caused by climate change, debt burden, and the structural inequalities of the international financial architecture must be redressed through climate justice. We need a genuine cooperation for the implementation of our continent's adaptation plan by providing financial resources, technology, and expertise.
Too often, commitments are broken and international solidarity is dismissed as weakness, precisely when the scale of climate crisis demands enhanced cooperation, not less. The truth is undeniable. No nation can solve this crisis alone. Only through bold, united, and sustained collaboration can we avert climate catastrophe.
The summit highlights Africa's push for climate-resilient growth and clean energy development. Leaders are calling for increased global funding to enable adaptation, protect ecosystems, and secure a sustainable economic future for the continent.
U.S. President Donald Trump has confirmed he will not participate in this November's G20 summit in South Africa. Vice President J.D. Vance is set to represent the United States in his place. During the summit, South Africa is expected to transfer the group's rotating presidency to the U.S. Isaac Lukando has more.
When the G20 convenes this November, bringing together 19 nations along with the European Union and African Union, one major world leader will be noticeably absent. President Donald Trump has put an end to speculation about his participation, confirming that he will not travel to Johannesburg for the summit. For many observers, Trump's decision was anticipated given recent tensions between Washington and Pretoria. Among the flashpoints straining relations, the U.S. administration's controversial rhetoric around land reform in South Africa, including unsupported allegations of violence targeting white farmers. Further fueling the diplomatic chill, the U.S. has imposed additional 30% tariffs on South African exports. In response, South Africa's International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola has downplayed the impact of Trump's absence, emphasizing that the summit's core agenda will proceed as planned. Still, analysts warn that recent frictions could challenge the G20's broader mission of promoting international economic cooperation. Isaac Lukando for A News in Dar es Salaam.
The M23 rebels have recaptured a town in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo after defeating a pro-government militia in a battle in North Kivu province. The town of Shoa had fallen into the hands of the Congolese army and the Wazalendo militia a few days ago, but was taken back after the clashes. Chris Ocharimga has more from Kinshasa.
Heavy gunfire erupted in the town of Shoa over the weekend as the M23 rebels fought militiamen allied to the Congolese government. The town, located in the mineral-rich territory of Masisi, had been briefly seized by Congolese forces, but locals say it's now under the control of M23 rebels. The fighting is in violation of a ceasefire that the DRC government and the rebels signed in Qatar in July. Authorities in Qatar are mediating talks between the warring sides to end the long-running conflict. The DRC government and UN experts accuse Rwanda of backing the rebels, a charge Kigali has repeatedly denied. The M23 group is largely composed of ethnic Tutsis who say they are fighting to protect their community from a Hutu militia that has been attacking them. The militia, known as FDLR, is accused of carrying out the Rwandan genocide of 1994. The US, Qatar, and the African Union have called on all parties to the conflict to resolve the war through dialogue, but sporadic fighting has gone on. The UN says the clashes have claimed thousands of lives and displaced more than 4 million people since 2022. Chris Ochamringa for A News in Kinshasa.
6 people have been killed and 20 more feared trapped after a gold mine collapsed in northern Sudan, according to the authorities. The accident occurred west of the city of Berber in River Nile State. Naba Mohideen reports from Khartoum.
The accident occurred on Friday in Umm al-Oud area western of Berber city in River Nile State. Rescue efforts are still ongoing to rescue those beneath the rubble, according to local authorities. This is not the first time such incidents and painful accidents take place in River Nile and northern states. Many people got killed, many artisanal miners got killed in recent weeks because of destruction of artisanal mines. While the reason behind the recent collapse is still undefined, people believe that maybe the recent flooding and the vulnerable areas and very vulnerable lands around artisanal mines may be the reasons behind the recent collapse. Since the war erupted in April 2023 between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, both sides have used gold to finance their war efforts, while Sudanese army is controlling above 60% of the Sudanese lands, Central Sudan, northern states, River Nile states, and eastern parts of Sudan. The rapid support forces are controlling large parts of Darfur and trying to control parts of Kordofan. Artisanal mining and small-scale operations are still the main source behind the Sudanese gold. More than 2 million people are working in artisanal mines. In Sudan, the Sudanese government announced that they have exported more than 64 tons in 2024 alone, a remarkable increase in gold production and gold exports. The war in Sudan is in its third year. It's pushing more than 25 million people into acute malnutrition and threat of famine, while 10 million people are internally displaced. Above 4 million people have crossed the borders in Sudan. Naba Mohideen for A News, Khartoum, Sudan.
Hundreds gathered in Tunisia to welcome the Global Sumud Flotilla, a mission of activists and humanitarian groups heading to Gaza. The delegation includes Greta Thunberg and representatives from over 40 countries.
The Global Sumud Flotilla docked in Tunisia after sailing from Barcelona, greeted by supporters in Sidi Bou Said. The vessels form part of an international effort to challenge Israel's blockade of Gaza. Organisers say the mission seeks to deliver aid and highlight Palestinian suffering. However, Israel argues its blockade, in place since 2007, is essential for security and calls such flotillas political stunts. Activists say the risks they face at sea cannot be compared to the daily struggles endured by Palestinians in Gaza.
After 7 days of sailing from Barcelona to here, we faced storms, we faced a lot of things, but nothing compared to the difficulties that we will face ahead of us, because nothing, no risk that we take on our mission compares to a single day or to a fraction of the risk that the Palestinian people in Gaza have to endure every single day.
Coming all the way from South Africa to participate in this is really a joy to once again be able to set sail and go and break the blockade in Gaza and end the siege which has been going on for the past 18 years. And we hope that it will be received as such, because we are a peaceful people We pose no threat. We are carrying humanitarian aid for our brothers and sisters in Gaza.
Greta Thunberg says governments and institutions enabling the war must be held accountable.
This genocide is being enabled and fueled by our governments, our institutions, our companies, our elected officials who are supposed to represent us. End your complicity!
The flotilla will remain in Tunis for repairs and supplies before sailing to Gaza on September 10th. Whether it reaches its destination remains uncertain, as Israel has vowed to block previous attempts.
In northern Kenya, stargazers gathered under clear skies to witness a rare total lunar eclipse. The celestial event, popularly known as the Blood Moon, brought together tourists and astronomy enthusiasts alike.
Hundreds of visitors assembled in Samburu, Kenya on Sunday to observe the blood moon, a rare lunar eclipse where the Earth's shadow casts the moon in a deep red hue. It highlights Kenya's potential as a hub for astrotourism, given its clear, dark skies, according to astronomers. Scientists say the eclipse offers a natural demonstration of the Earth's position between the sun and the moon.
The blood moon is basically a lunar eclipse, where when the shadow of the Earth comes in between the moon, it falls on the moon, it's between the moon and the sun, so there is no light from the sun that reaches the moon, and it slowly turns dark, and when it's fully eclipsed, then it becomes red, what has been known as the blood moon. Looking at the sky is fascinating for everyone, a child, a grown-up. Everyone likes to look at the night sky, everyone likes to look at stars. Now, as an astrotourism package, I believe it will be very well received, because stars are a wonder. Stars are magnificent. Not just stars, but planets and space. They inspire creativity, they drive technology. So I think it will be very well received as a package in the various organizations that will offer it and tourism destinations that will offer it.
Tourists say the chance to see the blood moon added unexpected magic to their safari trip.
I'm just here on a holiday to do safari, and yeah, came across this event kind of randomly, but it's been really nice. The food is great and I really like the stories. The moon was really cool to see. I looked through some of the telescopes and yeah, I was able to see Saturn and also the blood moon.
Kenyan officials and scientists hope such events will boost interest in space science while drawing more visitors to remote regions like Samburu, where skies remain among the clearest on the continent.
In Malawi, young climbers are scaling new heights, both physically and mentally. They say rock climbing is not only a sport, but also a source of stress relief and social connection. Take a look.
In Malawi city of Blantyre, more young people are taking up rock climbing, with membership at Climb Malawi rising by over 150% in the past 2 years. The sport is drawing youth for its mix of physical challenge, mental focus, and community spirit, offering a healthy outlet for stress while promoting adaptability and confidence. Leaders say the sport challenges them physically while also teaching life skills such as adaptability.
Many youths today are going through a lot of stress and other issues, and one of the best sports is rock climbing. So when we come over here to climb the rock, we become relieved. This helps to think deeply on how to live a purposeful life. The sport helps us to focus better and make sound decisions.
Being outdoor, I constantly have to switch languages because I'm talking to different people. Even the words I use, I constantly have to change them. So you learn a lot of adaptability when you're out here.
Members say the sport helps them cope with stress and gain focus in daily life.
At first, my decision-making process was very slow. I used to take a long time to act on things, but now I'm able to make quick decisions on things. This is so because when climbing, I need to make quick and calculated decisions to reach my goal. So I need to think fast.
Climbers in Blantyre say the sport's benefits go beyond fitness, offering both therapy and community. As more young Malawians take up climbing, groups like Climb Malawi see potential for the sport to grow nationally and regionally.
Well, that's all we have today in Africa News. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to A News.